Channel Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on the big matchup coming up here in Week 10 of this 2021 college football season. And it'll be over the Auburn Tigers and the Texas A&M Aggies. Huge matchup for both these teams heading into the first weekend of November. Of course, we got two teams with some good momentum heading into this matchup. So it definitely is going to be an important one as we head closer to bowl season. So that being said, we'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Auburn last week had a huge win over Ole Miss. 31-20 was the final score there, and they are 6-2 heading into this matchup. And of course, with the Aggies on the flip side, they beat Alabama a few weeks ago, as you know, and Texas A&M, of course, ever since then has played their best ball all season. So I think you got two teams here going head-to-head here. They're playing as well as they have all season for sure. I mean, Texas A&M, of course, beat South Carolina in their last game 44-14. So Aggies are dominant right now, and these are two of the best two-loss teams in the country without a doubt heading into Week 10 right now. Auburn is ranked 12th, and Texas A&M is ranked 13th heading into this game as well. Game will be on Saturday, November 6th in College Station. So, of course, the Aggies being the home field team, they've got a huge advantage there. I mean, Texas A&M, this team took down Alabama in their home field previously in the season. So we've seen some big upsets at Kyle Field. So, yeah, Texas A&M, they definitely have a huge advantage there. Spread line is Texas A&M by 4.5. Over-under is 50. And your FPI is going Texas A&M 62.7%. And it's also an afternoon game, 2:30 p.m. Central Time is the kickoff time for this matchup. Series history, A&M does lead at 6-5, but it's been a very close series. Obviously, in the last 5, Auburn does lead at 3-2, but A&M did win the last game last season, so they do have a one-game winning streak here. But obviously, I mean, it's still a very close series, 6-5. We've only seen these teams play each other 11 times, but Texas A&M does lead the series by 1. Stat comparison for this matchup, Auburn's got 34 points per game, 19 points allowed, 254 pass yards a game, 197 rush yards, and then for yards allowed, 228 passing, and then 127 for rushing. As for Texas A&M, 29 points per game, 16 points allowed, 208 pass yards a game, 188 for rush yards, and then for yards allowed, 199 passing, and then 129 for rushing. So, I mean, you got two very talented football teams here, and statistically, I mean, both teams are pretty similar as well, which isn't too surprising. Obviously, you got two teams that, I mean, they've had very similar seasons as well. I mean, both teams have taken a couple of tough losses, but, I mean, both teams have got a ton of momentum right now, and that's why it's such a huge game. I was so surprised that College Game Day didn't go to this game. Obviously, they're going to Cincinnati, which is a big deal for the Bearcats, but this is a huge game for both teams here. Obviously, with it being a New Year's 6, I mean, there's a New Year's 6 bowl game bid that is still on the line here, so certainly the winner of this game is, without a doubt, still in contention to make a New Year's 6 bowl game. Recent matchups of both these teams, Auburn, of course, they beat Ole Miss 31-20, had a big win over Arkansas 38-23 the game before as well. So, I mean, their last loss was on October 9th against Georgia, which, I mean, Bulldogs, looking at them now, they're easily the best team in the country, and I mean, it's going to be tough to see. I mean, I don't really see any team beating Georgia right now unless a huge upset happens. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's a very good football team, and so for Auburn, it just was a tough loss there. But they did beat LSU 24-19, solid win on the road, and they also beat Georgia State 34-24. So, I mean, Auburn, in the last couple of games, they've beaten two top 20 teams there with Arkansas and Ole Miss. So, especially that Ole Miss game, very impressive game there out of Auburn. As for Texas A&M, beat South Carolina 44-14, beat Missouri 35-14, and of course that came after beating Alabama 41-30. It was the final score there. Quite a game. I mean, that was an insane game there with Texas A&M pulling the upset. No one saw that coming, especially after Texas A&M had taken 2 straight losses to Arkansas and the Mississippi State. So that Mississippi State game especially, I mean, the Bulldogs are a 3-loss team. So that was very surprising. And the Aggies, obviously, ever since that Alabama game, have really played well. Some key points for this one. Both teams are 6-2. Auburn, 2 straight quality wins against good teams. They continue to improve. I mean, this football team is definitely better than how they were at the beginning of the season, and you could say that about Texas A&M as well. I mean, both teams are very improved heading into this matchup. Still a lot to play for Auburn, though, heading into October, or heading into November, actually. I mean, for both teams here, I mean, once again, these are two very similar football teams in many ways. I mean, there's still a lot to play for both these teams. New Year's 6 bowl bid is still within reach, certainly for both teams. So, I mean, there's a lot to play for still as we head into the early parts of November. And for the Aggies, 3 straight solid wins. I mean, at this point, playing at their best so far this season without a doubt, and they also have the home field advantage, which obviously Texas A&M has had a lot of good experiences in Kyle Field, especially this season when once again they beat the number 1 team in the nation, Alabama, at one point this season. But that being said, let's look at the prediction here for Auburn and Texas A&M. Obviously, huge matchup for both these teams. I'm going to go Aggies here. 31-27 is my predicted final score, and this was a tough one to predict here. Both teams certainly are very capable of winning. Auburn, if they pulled out the win here, I wouldn't be surprised a single bit. You got two very talented football teams here, and it's almost a coin toss, but I do give the nod for having the home field advantage for Texas A&M. That's going to help them a ton. I think in this matchup, it's a huge game with huge implications for the postseason. So, with Texas A&M having the home field advantage, that's going to come to their that's going to help them a ton, I do think, in this game. But yeah, over/under is 50. I'm actually taking the over by a decent amount here with 58 total points, and probability it's 55% towards Texas A&M. So once again, I expect it to be very close. Should be a great game here though on Saturday afternoon. I think it's going to go back and forth all the way until the end of the fourth quarter. But that being said, I appreciate you guys all watching. As always, let me know your thoughts and comments below on this game as well. Your score predictions, all that, let me know in the comments. But once again, appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. See you guys later.